Let's talk about one of the strangest, most counterintuitive puzzles in business. It's a paradox that explains why so many smart people making what seem like smart decisions end up leading their entire industries straight into a wall. I mean, it's a genuinely baffling question, isn't it? You look at these huge sectors packed with brilliant data-driven leaders, and yet somehow they all seem to be marching together right off the same cliff. How on earth is that possible? Well, to get it, you don't need a fancy business degree. You just need to think about something we all see every single year: the chaos of holiday sales. It's the whole problem in miniature. So here's how it always goes down. It starts with one company making what looks like a super smart move. They launch their Black Friday deals in, I don't know, October, just to get a jump on everyone. And then, bam, the chain reaction starts. The rivals, they have to match it. They literally have no choice, or they get left in the dust. And before you know it, the sales are everywhere. That initial advantage, poof, it's gone. And by the time December rolls around, the only real result is that everyone's profit margins are totally squeezed. And here's the craziest part. Every single executive sees this happening. They see their margins shrinking, they know it's a value-destroying cycle, and yet, they're going to do it all over again next year. That right there is the heart of the paradox. Okay, so to unravel why this happens, we have to zoom way in. Let's just forget the industry for a second and look at the cold, hard logic from inside one single company. All right, imagine you're running Coke. You basically have two moves: hold your prices or cut them. Now let's look at the options. If Pepsi keeps its prices steady, you can play nice and make $10 million. Or you could cut your price, steal some of their customers, and walk away with $12 million. Okay, easy choice. But what if Pepsi cuts their price? Well, if you hold firm, you're going to lose market share and only make $7 million. But if you cut yours too, you protect your turf and you make $9 million. So you see what's happening? No matter what Pepsi does, your best move, your only rational move, is always to cut your price. From your own selfish point of view, it's a no-brainer. There is no other logical decision to make. But that last phrase there, in isolation, that's the absolute killer. Because, of course, you are not acting in isolation. You're playing a game against a bunch of other people who are just as smart and just as rational as you are. And that's where everything starts to fall apart. This is the trap. Pepsi isn't just some static number in your equation. They have their own teams of brilliant analysts, and they are looking at the same board, running the exact same models, and coming to the exact same rational conclusion that you did. And you see this play out in the real world all the time. Just look at the airline industry. For a little while, everything's stable. Everyone's making decent money. Then one airline cheats. It drops fares on a few key routes to grab a bit of market share. The reaction is swift and it is brutal. Within weeks, you've got a full-blown price war on your hands. And in just a few months, the entire industry's profits are just incinerated. That little temporary gain just vanishes almost instantly. Everybody matches the cut, and the whole industry finds a new, lower equilibrium where everyone is just worse off. It's the perfect example of smart people making smart decisions that lead to one giant dumb outcome. You know, there's probably no one who's explained this dynamic more clearly or more brutally than Warren Buffett. He uses this incredibly powerful metaphor to describe this exact situation. He tells the story of the old American textile industry. For decades, companies could invest in new, more efficient machines. And on paper, every single one of those decisions to upgrade was a financial no-brainer. It was completely rational. But here's the punchline. When every single company made that same rational decision, nobody got a leg up. The advantage was completely neutralized. All it did was lower costs across the board, which just led to lower prices for everyone. His analogy for it is perfect. It's like everyone at a parade standing on their tiptoes to see better. In the end, nobody's view actually improves, but now everybody's legs are tired. And to put a real number on this, Buffett pointed to Burlington Industries, the biggest player in the game. Over 21 years, they poured $3 billion into these cost-effective, rational upgrades. And what was the result? After all that capital, all that effort, all those supposedly smart decisions, the company's stock was actually worth less in real terms than it was 2 decades earlier. $3 billion just gone, vaporized by the industry's own internal logic. And this all leads to Buffett's famous and very sobering conclusion. If the fundamental game you're in is broken, playing that game harder isn't the solution. You're just bailing water faster in a boat that's destined to sink. The only real winning move is to get into a different boat altogether. So, if competing harder is just patching leaks in a sinking ship, what does it actually mean to find a new boat? How do you escape this trap? Well, the truly great companies, the ones that last, they seem to get this intuitively. They don't waste their energy trying to win the existing game. They create a totally new one where the old rules just don't apply anymore. And you see this in a few different ways. Some companies, like Apple, change the game by raising what customers expect so high that competitors just can't keep up on price alone. Others build these moats with high switching costs, making it a massive pain for you to leave their ecosystem. And sometimes you even see rivals become, well, frenemies. They'll cooperate on certain things while competing on others, basically agreeing not to sink the boat for everybody. The whole point here, the critical takeaway, is that these strategies aren't about helping you win a race to the bottom. They're designed to make sure you never have to run in that race in the first place. And once you start to see this pattern, it changes everything. It really forces you to question what it even means to compete, and more importantly, what it means to win. So the next time you look at a competitive market, I want you to ask yourself this question. Is it a battlefield where real skill and strategy lead to victory? Or is it just a leaking boat where everyone is busy bailing water as fast as they can, but nobody's actually getting any closer to shore? The answer might tell you everything you need to know.